Hey, it's me again talking about bite-sized writing, which is our subject matter for this particular series of videos. And really, this series is about how you can take your amazing, diverse, wide-ranging, and abundant creative ideas, all of them, or maybe one of them at a time, and shrink it down for the moment into something that is actionable and forward thinking and forward moving. Because if you're anything like me, I've got so many things that I want to write and create for theater, for film, for television, and I just can't do it all at once. And that's where the magic of bite sized writing comes in. So this time it's bite sized writing perfection, or bite sized writing perfection. You may know from watching my videos and maybe reading my newsletter and other things that perfectionism to me does not exist. I mean, perfectionism exists, the ism exists, but actual perfect, not a thing. In spite of whatever critics and magazines and advertisers want to say, the perfect whatever, the perfect scene, the perfect performance, the perfect script, the perfect execution, not a thing. And so in order to deal with that on a one-to-one basis, as the writer and artist that you are, I think it's really important to rein it all down and focus. So this particular bite-sized writing conversation goes like this. There are times that I have a big scene in mind, something that is a key moment in a storyline, and I'm really intimidated about how to face it. What do I do? Can I really write this scene? Is it beyond me? Am I not smart enough? Or maybe I didn't live it, or I'm not exactly sure how it goes, or I need some expertise like medical expertise or legal expertise to make it sing. One of the amazing powers of bite-sized writing that sort of hones me in and drops me into a piece is, as I talked about last time, the use of a timer. All I need to do is focus for, we've been talking about the 1 hour. All I need to do is focus for the 1 hour or whatever your bite sized period of time is on that big idea. So I don't have to solve it all, right? I don't have to get it perfect because perfect doesn't exist. I'm just going to drop in and do a version. It might be a sloppy version. It might be a fast version. It might be a weird version. It might be a version that takes place all in someone's mind. It might be a fantasy version. It might be an action version. It might feel like a cartoon version. It might feel like a very schematic and simple sort of outliney version. I'm just going to throw up dialogue, or I'm just going to put out action, or I'm just going to put out what the characters are thinking, or I'm just going to go for it and try a thing. And for me, the more bite sized the writing time is, the more I get to be open with abandon and just write. I'm going to put something down. It doesn't matter what it is, because I'm going to come back later, and we know writing is rewriting, right? So the more I'm doing the bite sized thing, perhaps the less I'm doing the perfect thing. The more I'm just dropping in and saying, let's see what comes out of me today in this moment, the more loose I can be, the more surrendered I can be, the more focused I can be, the more creative I can be. And so the notion of throwing away that perfection voice and simply being in the moment, just moving my story ahead in whatever way I can, keeping it simple, keeping it focused, keeping it loose, keeping it intentional, and then I can come back. I can come back with the research. I can come back with the experts. I can come back with, a proofreader, or I can come back with some sort of expertise or some sort of angle, or attack the same scene from the point of view of a different character. I can do whatever I want. But none of that gets built. I don't get to build on a scene until I first pave it out, right? Until I lay the groundwork, the literal groundwork for what it is I'm going to do the next time. And that, I think, is part of the magic of the bite sized writing. It gets me to worry less and do more. It gets me to be loose and surrendered and focused and just put words down on the page. And then I can come back later and make them smart or interesting or beautiful or well researched or any of that stuff. I don't have to beat myself up because I know for a fact that I'm not going to come out with something that is, I don't know, Emmy worthy on the first pass in an hour or in 15 minutes or in 30 minutes or in 20 or in 15 or in 500 words or whatever mode I'm working in. It just allows me to liberate myself from the notion that it needs to be anything except words. Words on a page. That's the goal in that bite-sized chunk. And I think that's a pretty magical space to be in order to keep creating little by little, day by day, moment by moment, writing session by writing session for myself, for my work, for the future, eventually for audiences, but just now for the craft of putting something down, blessing it, blessing myself, and moving on with my day. Thanks for watching. I really love this idea, and I hope you begin to adopt bite-sized writing that can liberate you and your process. I will see you next time.